Hello, welcome to another edition of Business Weekly on City TV. I am Pius Amihere Eduku, and coming up in this edition, local airline Starbow sacks workers. Also, banking consultant urges BOG to sanction Menzgold over claims that it is accepting deposit. Details of these plus other top business stories for the week coming up shortly. Well, in our first story, we take you to the aviation sector where local airline Starbow has sacked scores of its workers. It is unclear how many workers were affected in the dismissals, but a letter cited by City Business News and signed by the CEO of the company, James Eric Entry, indicated that the workers' contracts have been terminated effective November 30, 2017. It is also unclear whether the recent developments having to do with an accident with one of the airline company's aircraft has led to the dismissals or some other operating challenges. Early this month, the Director General of the Ghana Civil Aviation Authority, Simon Alute, disclosed that his outfit will commence investigations into the operations of Starbow, and if the company is found culpable, it will be sanctioned. Let's still stay with issues relating to Starbow because a labor analyst, Austin Game, has told Business Weekly that the affected workers of Starbow could lay claim to some compensation if the ground of the termination of their employment contract is eventually determined. According to Mr. Game, the decision by the company could largely be influenced by the company's employment contract. It also may be due to some advice from a legal counsel. According to Mr. Game, citing Section 65(1) of the Labour Act 2003, the workers may, through the Chief Labour Officer, get some compensation. Let's now take you to the banking industry where a banking consultant, Nana Otuo Echampon, wants the Bank of Ghana to sanction Menzgold if it is found that its deposit-taking business is indeed true. Now, the central bank has, at least for the third time this year, cautioned the public against depositing money with Menzgold. The company has, however, on each occasion dismissed any such claims, insisting that it is not into deposit-taking business. Nana Otuo Echampon tells Business Weekly any failure by the central bank to crack the whip on Menzgold would lead to consumers losing their monies if unchecked. We now take you to the oil and gas sector where the National Petroleum Authority CEO, that is Mr. Hassan Tampoli, has disclosed that the authority has closed about 50 LPG stations for not meeting the required safety standards. According to Mr. Tampoli, the NPA closed the stations during a nationwide exercise after inspecting over 490 gas filling stations. Now, addressing the press in Accra, Mr. Tampoli also stated that the authority has identified some 27 LPG stations that may also face closure. Regarding the oil and gas sector, and the NPA this week directed all oil marketing companies to adjust their tax component to reflect a 70% reduction in the price stabilization levy. According to the NPA, the price component of the price stabilization levy has been reduced from 10 pesos per litre on diesel and LPG to 3 pesos. This has, however, not triggered any massive reduction in the prices of fuel at the pumps. In reaction to this development, the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, that is COPEC, believes that the NPA and government for that matter should rather tackle the special petroleum tax on petroleum product. The Executive Secretary of COPEC, Duncan Amwa, tells Business Weekly, scrapping the tax or fixing a price for the special petroleum tax would rather cushion consumers. Now, the Institute of Energy Security, IES, however, believes that the special petroleum tax must be completely scrapped. Still staying with the oil and gas sector where the African Center for Energy Policy, that is ACEP, has impressed on the Ghana National Petroleum Corporation, GNPC, to retrieve all monies owed by oil companies who have not met their minimum obligation contract. According to ACEP, 14 of such agreements have breached the law, hence they are owing some $150 million altogether. The executive director of ASEP, Benjamin Boache, tells Business Weekly the expected depletion of oil resources from the Jubilee oil fields by 2025, plus declining global oil prices, make it necessary for authorities to stem the situation in the interim. Finally, and Ghanaian businesses should from next year be operating under a competition law. This is the indication from the Ministry of Trade and Industry. Now, after 10 years of contemplating or considering the idea of getting a competition law, Ghana is yet to do so. But the head of legal services at the Ministry of Trade and Industry, Pius Amihere, is confident that the situation will see a turnaround with the implementation of the competition law. And that is it for this week's edition of Business Weekly on City TV. I am Pius Amihere Eduku. Join us next week, but in the interim, visit citybusinessnews.com.